Hey everyone, if you're here with us, you're probably looking to, turn LinkedIn into a real sales machine.
That's right.
So we're diving deep into this Medium article.
Okay.
It's called How to Use LinkedIn for Sales Growth.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's by Tom the Cat.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely packed with actionable insights.
Oh yeah, this is a good one.
So to help break it all down, we've got our expert here with us.
See everybody.
Now, Tom really hits the nail on the head when he talks about the culture of LinkedIn,
Yes.
right? It's not Facebook or Instagram.
No, not at all. What I found really fascinating about LinkedIn is that, everyone is there focused on professional growth.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about, sharing insights, learning from each other,
Yeah.
Building real, genuine connections, which is, different than a lot of other social media.
Totally. I like to think of it as a virtual networking event,
Yes,
but with global reach.
absolutely. You can connect with people anywhere.
Yeah. So, if LinkedIn is this unique professional space, where do we even begin?
Well, he starts off the article talking about the importance of having a killer LinkedIn profile.
Right.
He calls it your digital handshake,
Right. Yeah.
which I think is really apt.
Yeah.
It's that first impression you're making.
Yeah.
And online first impressions, those are everything.
Oh, yeah. He talks a lot about the headline.
Right.
I'll admit, I'm guilty of just using my basic job title.
Yeah, and he actually points out that that's one of the biggest mistakes people make.
Really?
Instead of just putting, marketing manager,
Right.
he suggests something like helping businesses boost revenue with strategic marketing solutions.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You see the difference. It's clear, it's concise,
Oh.
and it instantly tells people what you bring to the table.
Yeah, it's like a mini elevator pitch.
Exactly.
There.
Highlighting your value proposition right off the bat.
Totally. Totally. So once you've nailed that headline, it's time to move on to the summary section.
Yes, absolutely.
So, this is your chance to go beyond, the bullet points and actually tell your story.
Mm-hmm.
What are your passions? What experiences have shaped your career?
Yeah, what makes you unique?
Yeah. What problems do you solve for your clients?
And he really stresses the importance of authenticity here.
Right.
People, they connect with real stories
Right.
and genuine personalities.
So no corporate jargon, no stuffy language.
No, none of that.
Be yourself.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I noticed that he mentions having a call to action at the end of your summary.
Yes, that's really important. Tell people what you want them to do.
Right.
Whether it's let's connect to discuss how I can help your business grow, or check out my latest article on,
Okay.
It gives them that next step.
Perfect. So you've got the headline, you've got the summary.
Yeah.
That's pulling people in. What about the experience and skills section? I feel like I just kind of list out my responsibilities there.
Yeah.
And he says that, we should really be focusing on achievements and impact.
Yes.
Right. Instead of just saying, I manage social media accounts.
Right.
Quantify your results.
Yes.
Did you increase engagement by 20%?
Mm-hmm.
Did you generate a certain number of leads?
Yeah. Give us some numbers.
Yeah, showcase those wins, right?
Yes.
It really paints a better picture
Absolutely.
of what you're capable of.
Much more compelling.
Totally, totally.
Mm.
Okay, I am definitely going to go back and revamp my experience section
Good.
after this. Now, once you have this amazing profile,
Mm-hmm.
how do you actually start, connecting with people?
Okay, so before we jump into building the network,
Okay.
There's something Tom mentions that I think is super important, and that's understanding the overall LinkedIn landscape.
Okay.
Remember, it's not just about collecting as many connections as you can. It's about building a network of people who are genuinely interested in what you have to offer.
Okay.
Right. And vice versa.
So quality over quantity.
Exactly. Think about it like, who are your ideal clients?
Right.
What industries are they in?
Yeah.
What challenges are they facing? And LinkedIn gives you the tools to find these people.
Okay.
And build those meaningful connections.
Awesome. So where do we actually start, finding these ideal connections?
Well, Tom, he goes into a lot of detail about LinkedIn's advanced search features,
Okay.
which, let's be honest, a lot of people don't fully utilize.
Yeah.
You can filter by industry, location, company size,
Wow.
job title, keywords. I
Uh-huh.
mean, so much more. It's really like having a laser-focused tool
Yeah.
to find those exact people
Okay.
you want to connect with.
I'll admit I've barely scratched the surface
Yeah.
of the advanced search.
It can be a bit overwhelming at first, but
Yeah.
once you get the hang of it, it's a It's a game changer.
Okay. So I found, my ideal prospects using this advanced search.
Mm-hmm.
Now what? Do I just hit that connect button?
Hold your horses.
Okay.
Remember what we said about genuine connections, right?
Yeah.
He stresses the importance of personalized connection requests.
Oh,
You know, a generic, I'd like to add you to my network.
right.
It just doesn't cut it anymore.
Yeah, that's kind of spammy.
It is. Take the time to craft a message that shows you've actually looked at their profile
Mm-hmm.
and you're genuinely interested in connecting with them.
Right. Right.
You know? Maybe you mention a shared connection,
Okay.
a recent article they published, something you admire about their work.
So like, let's say I was connecting with someone in, the marketing field.
Right.
Maybe I could mention like a recent blog post that they put out about, content strategy.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's a great example. It shows you've done your homework.
Yeah.
You're not just sending these out blindly.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
This is making me rethink like my entire approach to LinkedIn.
It's a whole new world.
Yeah. But what happens, after you've connected with someone,
Yeah.
how do you like nurture that relationship
Mm-hmm.
and turn them into a potential client?
Okay, that's where things get really interesting, and it's something that Tom goes into detail about.
Okay.
But I think, you know what, let's take a quick pause.
All right.
We'll come back and we'll dive into how to turn those connections into real relationships that actually drive sales.
Sounds good. We'll be right back after this.
So, we were talking before about sending these personalized connection requests.
Right. Right.
So let's get into, how to actually nurture those connections.
Yeah, that's what I'm really curious about.
Okay.
Because, I think I have a decent number of connections,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if I'm doing a good job of actually like engaging with them.
Yeah, and Tom makes a really good point in the article that building relationships on LinkedIn, it takes time,
Yeah.
consistent effort.
Right.
It's not a quick fix. It's really a long-term strategy,
Okay.
and it requires, a genuine approach.
So it's not just about sending that connection request
Right.
and then like hoping that they'll turn into a client.
No. It's
Okay.
about staying top of mind,
Right.
providing value, and building trust over time.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But what are some practical ways to do that?
Okay, well, one of the simplest but most effective ways
Okay.
is to engage with their content,
Right.
like their posts.
Okay.
Leave thoughtful comments, share their articles. If you find them valuable,
Mm-hmm.
it shows that you're paying attention
Yeah,
and that you actually, care about what they have to say.
that's a good point. I'm definitely guilty of, scrolling through my feed
Yeah.
and not really interacting a whole lot.
It's easy to do that.
Yeah.
But Tom, he actually mentions a study that found that LinkedIn users who consistently like, comment, and share content
Mm-hmm.
are 70% more likely to generate leads.
Wow. Okay.
That's a big number.
That's huge.
Right. So it just shows the power of that active engagement.
Okay.
And it really, it doesn't have to be time consuming.
Right.
Even a quick comment like, great post, I especially like your point about,
Yeah.
can go a long way.
So it's not just about posting my own content,
Right.
but also being like an active member of that community.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's reciprocity. You give value, you get value.
I like that.
Right.
Makes sense. What about, reaching out to people directly? Like, is it okay to message people that you're connected with,
Yes.
even if you haven't really interacted that much?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tom encourages personalized messaging.
Okay.
Again, it's all about providing value,
Hmm.
being genuine.
Right.
Don't just send a generic sales pitch.
Right.
Think about what are their needs, what are their pain points, how can you potentially help them?
So instead of saying like, hey, I see you're in marketing,
Right.
want to buy my product,
Exactly.
I should be like, starting a conversation about their specific needs
Yes.
and challenges.
And challenges, exactly.
Okay.
So maybe, you notice they posted about, struggling to generate leads. You could send them a message and say something like, hey, I saw your post about lead generation.
Right.
I've actually helped a number of businesses in your industry overcome similar challenges. Would you be open to a quick chat to see if I can offer any insights?
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Right.
That sounds a lot more approachable.
Yeah.
It's not pushy.
And helpful.
Yeah,
Exactly. Tom calls this a value-first approach.
I like that.
And it's really the key to building those lasting relationships.
Totally, totally. Now, what about LinkedIn groups?
Okay.
I know they're a big part of the platform,
Yeah.
but I haven't really explored them.
Okay, well, Tom, he dedicates a whole section to LinkedIn groups.
Yeah.
And for good reason. They can be
Wow.
so valuable
Yeah.
for connecting with, like-minded professionals,
Mhm.
establishing yourself as a thought leader,
Okay.
and generating leads.
So it's not just about joining any random group, but finding the ones that are actually relevant
Right.
to my audience.
Exactly.
Right.
Think about, again, the industries your clients are in,
Right.
the challenges they're facing, the topics they're interested in.
Yeah.
Search for groups that align with those areas.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So once I've joined some relevant groups, how do I actually use them
Right.
for sales?
So it's not just about being a passive member.
Right.
You want to actively participate in discussions,
Right.
answer questions,
Mhm.
offer helpful insights,
Okay.
share your own content when it's relevant,
Right.
and adds value to the conversation.
So it's kind of like building these mini communities
Exactly.
within these groups.
And as you consistently, provide that value, right?
And engage with others, you really start to establish yourself as that go-to resource
Yeah.
and a trusted expert.
That makes sense. But with all this talk about providing value, it seems like we're dancing around the actual sales part.
Mm.
When is it actually appropriate to talk about your product or service?
That's a great question. And Tom addresses that head on.
Okay.
He emphasizes that LinkedIn is not the platform for hard selling.
Yeah.
It's about building those relationships, nurturing leads,
Right.
positioning yourself as a trusted advisor.
So no spamming people with sales pitches?
No. He suggests a more subtle approach.
Okay.
Once you've built that rapport with someone,
Right.
and you genuinely believe your product or service can help them, then you can start to weave it into the conversation.
So, for example, if I was talking to someone who were struggling with social media marketing,
Right.
I might mention that, my company specializes in helping businesses.
Develop effective social media strategies.
Perfect. Exactly. And, you can offer to share a case study, a free consultation, to really demonstrate how you've helped other businesses
Right.
achieve success.
So it's about finding that right balance
Yeah.
of providing value, but then also showcasing, your expertise.
You got it.
Okay, that makes sense. And even if someone isn't ready to buy from you right away,
Right.
building that relationship can pay off later on.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's a long game.
Yeah, the long game.
Okay.
All right, I like that. Now let's move on to another, powerful aspect
Okay.
of LinkedIn for sales
Okay.
that Tom highlights in the article. And that's content creation.
Yes. Yeah.
He says that content is king.
He does.
I completely agree.
Me too.
So we're not just talking about engaging with other people's content,
Right.
but creating our own content.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sharing valuable content on LinkedIn can establish you as that thought leader, attract ideal clients, and generate leads.
Okay.
He suggests a variety of content formats,
Oh, yeah.
including articles, videos, polls, and infographics.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot of options.
It is.
Which one is the best?
So it really depends on your audience
Okay.
and your goals. Articles are fantastic
Okay.
for sharing that in-depth knowledge.
Yeah.
Insights,
Mhm.
videos can be really engaging,
Right.
help you connect with the audience on a more personal level.
Yeah.
Polls are fun.
Mm.
They're a great way to encourage interaction, gather insights.
Mm-hmm.
And then infographics are perfect for presenting complex information visually.
Okay.
So really it depends on the message
Yeah.
and how your audience likes to consume that information.
So it's all about finding the format
Yes.
that best suits your message and your audience.
Yes. And Tom stresses tailoring that content
Okay.
to their interests, their pain points.
So instead of just talking about myself and my company,
Right.
I should be talking about how I can solve my ideal client's challenges.
Exactly. Think about the questions they're asking, the problems they're facing, the
Yeah.
information they want.
Okay, that makes sense. And how often should I be posting?
So consistency is key.
Okay.
Tom suggests at least once a week.
Right.
But the more consistent you are,
Yeah.
the better.
Okay. This is all great advice, but I have to say, thinking about creating all this content,
I know.
it can be kind of daunting.
I understand. It can feel overwhelming,
Yeah.
but it doesn't have to be. Start small,
Okay.
Focus on one or two formats that you feel good about
Right.
and build from there.
Okay, that's good advice. That's good advice. Now, curious, what about LinkedIn's, premium tool, Sales Navigator?
Okay.
Tom mentions that
Yeah.
briefly in the article.
He does.
Is it actually worth the investment?
Sales Navigator is a really powerful tool, especially for those who are serious about leveraging LinkedIn for sales. It offers a suite of advanced features that can really help you find, connect with your ideal clients, track your progress, and get insights into your target market.
Okay. Can you give me some examples of those advanced features?
Yeah, so one of the most valuable features is the ability to save leads and accounts.
Okay.
So, if you find someone who fits your ideal client profile, you can save them as a lead and easily track your interactions with them.
That's really useful.
Right.
I often find myself like scrambling to remember who I've reached out to, what I said.
Sales Navigator takes care of all that for you.
Okay.
It also has a feature called Lead Recommendations that uses algorithms to actually suggest potential clients based on your ideal customer profile.
So it's like having a personal assistant who's constantly searching for leads for me.
It can save you so much time.
That's awesome.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And is there anything else?
Yeah, another great feature is in-mail messaging.
Oh, yeah.
In-mail allows you to send messages to people that you're not connected with.
Oh, wow.
Which can be incredibly valuable for, reaching out to decision makers.
Okay, that sounds like a game changer.
It is. It is.
But I imagine it comes with a hefty price tag.
It does have a monthly fee.
Okay.
But Tom argues that, it's worth the investment for those who are serious about, using LinkedIn for sales growth. He even includes a case study in the article of a sales professional who increased their lead generation by 50%.
That's incredible.
After using Sales Navigator.
Wow. Okay. I'm definitely going to look into that. Yeah. Now, before we move on, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier about like tracking your progress.
Yes.
On LinkedIn.
That's so important.
How important is that?
Tom dedicates a whole section to using LinkedIn Analytics to track your progress. Refine your strategy, and he says data is your best friend when it comes to LinkedIn success.
So we're not just like winging it.
Right.
We're using data.
Data-driven decision.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So LinkedIn gives you all this data about your profile views, connection growth, content engagement, and more.
Okay, but what do I actually do with all that data?
Well, for starters, you can use it to see what's working and what's not. Are your profile views increasing? Are people engaging with your content? Are you connecting with the right people? The data will tell you.
So if I notice like my profile views are low, maybe I need to revamp that headline and summary.
Exactly. Or if you're not getting much engagement on your posts, you might need to experiment with different content formats or topics.
So it's a constant process of like analyzing, adjusting, and improving.
Exactly. And the more data you have, the more informed your decisions will be. And the more you can optimize your strategy.
This is all making a lot of sense, but I have to admit, we've covered a lot today.
We have.
And I'm feeling a little overwhelmed with all this information.
I understand. But the good news is Tom's article, provides a really clear roadmap for leveraging LinkedIn for sales growth.
Good.
And he includes some really inspiring success stories.
Okay. Tell me about the success stories.
Okay. So one story that stood out to me was about a small business owner.
Okay.
She was really struggling to generate leads and close deals.
Right.
She decided to go all in on LinkedIn. Implementing all the strategies we've talked about. And you know what? Within 6 months, she had doubled her client base.
Wow.
And significantly increased her revenue.
That's amazing.
Right. So it's possible to achieve these kinds of results.
Wow.
But it takes effort, consistency, willingness to learn and adapt.
Okay. What about another inspiring story?
Another one that I really liked was about a freelancer who landed a dream contract with a Fortune 500 company through LinkedIn.
No way.
He focused on building a strong personal brand, consistently shared a valuable content, engaged with decision makers in his target market.
So he basically used LinkedIn to position himself as an expert.
Exactly.
And attract those high-value clients.
High-value clients.
Wow, and it paid off.
It did. These success stories, they really show the power of LinkedIn when it's used strategically.
Okay. This has been so insightful.
Good.
I feel like I have a much clearer understanding of how to actually use LinkedIn to grow my business.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Now, before we, start wrapping things up,
Okay.
what is your biggest takeaway from Tom's article? What's the one thing?
For me, it's the emphasis on building genuine relationships.
Okay.
LinkedIn is a powerful tool, no doubt.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's about connecting with people.
Yeah.
On a human level.
That's great.
Right.
It's not just about,
It's not all about the algorithms.
Yeah, the algorithms and sales tactics.
Yeah, right.
It's about building trust.
Yes.
And creating these meaningful connections.
Exactly.
Right.
And when you approach LinkedIn with that mindset, the sales will follow.
Okay, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
This has been such a valuable deep dive.
Right.
I feel like I have a whole new perspective on LinkedIn now.
I'm glad.
And I'm excited to start implementing these strategies.
Me too. And remember, we're here to support you on your journey.
Awesome.
So, reach out if you have any questions.
Yeah.
Need some guidance along the way.
Thank you so much for joining us
Thank you.
on this deep dive into, using LinkedIn for sales growth. Now, before we wrap up completely, we want to leave you with a thought-provoking question
Okay.
to ponder, as you embark on your LinkedIn journey.
All right. So we've talked about a ton of ways to really use LinkedIn to boost your sales.
Yeah, we really have.
So now it's time to get down to the nitty-gritty.
Let's do it.
It's action time.
All right.
So think back on what really resonated with you during this deep dive?
Okay.
Was it that statistic about engagement leading to way more leads?
Yeah.
Or, was it that idea of really transforming your profile into a mini sales pitch?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever it was. Here's the question I want you to ask yourself. What one thing am I going to change on LinkedIn this week to see some results?
I love that because it's so easy to, listen to a podcast and then do nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Information is only powerful if you actually apply it.
Right. That's right.
So what's your one thing? Maybe it's finally figuring out that advanced search.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's okay, every Tuesday I'm going to post something.
Yeah.
Something valuable, no excuses.
Committing to that, yeah.
Or reaching out to, maybe 3 people that you really admire with those personalized messages, not just the let's connect.
Right. Yeah, that's huge.
The point is pick something you can do and actually do it.
That's right.
Don't let this week slip by
Okay.
without taking at least one small step.
I like that because, LinkedIn's kind of like a garden, right?
It is.
You have to tend to it to see it flourish.
You do.
And even those small actions done consistently lead to big results.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive.
Yeah.
We've gone from the basics to these pro-level strategies.
Yes,
And it's been amazing to see how real people are using them to land those clients, build their business, and achieve their goals.
It's so inspiring.
It really is. So to all of our listeners out there, the challenge is to take action.
Yes.
Don't just listen, but be a doer.
Do it.
Right? Turn that LinkedIn profile into a sales magnet.
Yes.
Build those genuine relationships.
That matter. Yes.
Create content that gets noticed.
Yeah.
And watch those sales start to climb.
It works.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
Of course.
We'll see you next time for another insightful exploration into the world of knowledge and growth.